Persuasion: how to close the deal and get more clients when you're not a salesperson without selling your soul. Episode 1. Make a friend. Asking for a sale creates tension. Making a friend eliminates it. Hi, this is Chris Gunter for DoItByTheHour.com, and I'm a freelancer just like you. Anytime you ask for something, it generates tension. It might be so minimal as to be undetectable, and it goes away quickly if the other person is predisposed to agreeing with you on the matter. You'll notice it much more when your counterpart isn't inclined to grant your wish. In such cases, you'll then have obstacles to overcome and the emotions that accompany the ensuing tension. Naturally, when you're trying to get someone to agree with you, the fewer obstacles, the better. The best way to eliminate unnecessary discomfort in the beginning stages of the conversation is to put the other person at ease. In other words, make a friend. This isn't terribly hard to understand. In a social context, it's typically considered rude to walk up to someone and immediately start talking about what you want. We're expected to at least observe the niceties of interaction first by asking how they're doing and making a bit of small talk. It's really no more complicated than that in a business setting. When you meet with someone, it's both polite and worthwhile to spend a few minutes chatting amiably. It gives you a chance to get to know them if they're not a familiar face. Even if they are, you're able to get a sense of where their mood is at the moment.
Tired of gig sites taking a huge bite out of your profits? Do It by the Hour's Stripe integration means payment processing fees of less than 3%. Enjoy automated invoicing, project management, and client acquisition tools on DoItByTheHour.com. Get started for free!
Talking about the weather is a bit of a cliche, but people do it for a reason. Everyone experiences atmospheric conditions, so it's something you'll have in common with another person. People also talk about sports, TV shows, and other cultural touchstones. Even if it's a stranger, it gives you something you both can discuss, and conversation is the first step to building a good relationship. In addition to putting people at ease, making a friend has another benefit. People who like you are often inclined to go along with your plan just to help you out. We do that for our friends. In fact, many times a top salesperson makes money because the customer buys them rather than the product. For those of you worried about having to become a used car salesman in order to be effective, you can hang that plaid sports jacket back up in the closet. You won't be needing it. You'll be at your most productive when you're honest, open, and sincere. Yes, there will be times when you have to frame your position in the most positive light, and you'll also have to engage in the occasional round of parry and thrust as you overcome the objections of others. Being true to who you are does not work against you in those moments. It actually works very much in your favor. If you were talking with someone who seemed phony and untrustworthy, how much credence would you give to what they were saying? On the other hand, if you were approached by someone you felt to be a straightforward and respectable person, you'd obviously be more inclined to believe them. To make friends, you don't have to become some obnoxious social butterfly who offers shallow one-liners instead of sincere conversation. You'll find that if you treat the person you're doing business with no differently than you would one of your friends, they may soon become one of them. At the very least, you'll have a cordial and comfortable start to your dialogue. Either way, when it comes time to talk shop, you'll be making your case to receptive ears. If you've enjoyed this and need a voice actor for your next project, I'm available. Just search for Chris Gunter on DoItByTheHour.com.